As you know, Walter Bond is a legend. The purpose of this meeting now is to introduce this legend and some of his insights to you. By the end of the 6 minutes and Q&A, you'll be armed with a couple of ideas that you can act on immediately. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I better practice what we've just been teaching in the previous session. Over to you, Walter.
All right, thanks, Jamie. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to you, Jamie. For whatever reason, you and I connected at that conference, and for the most part, we kept in touch. And I've had this amazing evolution. For those of you who know who I am, playing NBA, had no business getting there. For those of you who follow sports, my college basketball team actually toured Australia. And I remember the big star back then was Andrew Gaze. And we went around the Brisbane and Illawarra and Rolling Meadows, and we played a lot of the local pro teams there. We didn't get a chance to play the Melbourne Tigers, but we really loved Australia. So this is a thrill for me. Australia is the dream location for my wife. But one thing I learned about sports is very valuable. Now, I want all you business leaders to hear me clearly. I work with a lot of big companies here and around the world, and I'm working directly with the leaders. One thing I see in leadership is no different than being a coach. It's your team. And whatever happens to your company is your fault because it's your team. And one thing I want to share with you guys today is that great leaders understand three things. You got to recruit, you have to develop, and you must retain top talent. Recruit, develop, retain top talent. Recruit, develop, and retain top talent. So let's look at recruitment for a second. What is your recruiting strategy? Who are you looking for? What are you looking for? I played for great coaches in sports. They knew exactly what they were looking for. My college basketball coach was looking for that underdog. He was looking for that player who was mentally tough, committed, and loyal. You need to ask yourself the question, based on your company, based on the role you need this person to play, who do you need to recruit? What is the skill set? It's not a face, it's not a name, but what is the skill set that you need to be on your team that can perform at a high level? When I left sport and got into corporate America, or corporate business that is, I was blown away by how many leaders didn't understand how important recruitment was. And they will interview someone for 6 months and bring them in for seconds and thirds and fourth interviews, and after 90 days, oh, it's a bad fit. And I would ask business leaders why, and they could never tell me. Well, if you don't know why this one was a bad fit, after you took 6 months to find this person, what's going to protect you from making another bad selection? So I want you to understand your number one job is to recruit, develop, retain top talent. Now, here's what I really want to talk about today, developing top talent. I wrote a book called Swim. This book is a bestseller, and here's why. We want to revive mentorship. We always hear about leadership, 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 leadership. To me, where did mentorship go? Isn't mentorship a subset of leadership? Yeah, you provide the core values. Yes, you provide the vision. But what is your strategy to develop your people? How do you develop your people? My college basketball coach had really good personal development. At the end of every year, he would sit us down and he would basically tell us what we did well and what we needed to work on. Now, for me, my first year in college, guys, I didn't even play. I sat on the bench. And I want you to hear me carefully because this might be the kind of attitude you need to find to be on your team. You want a person who has the passion you have. You want to have a person on your team that's got the same characters, the same drive, the same work ethic. From day one, it'll make your job easy. I sat down with my coach and I asked him a question while I was sitting on the bench. What do I need to do to play in the NBA? What do I need to do? Who do I need to become to make it to the pinnacle of my sport? Now, he looked at me and laughed in my face. And this is what he said. He said, son, you don't play for me. And that's what I said, guys. I said, I'm going to become somebody different. If you can just paint the picture, if you can just give me the avatar of what you need me to become so I can play in the NBA, I will become that person. Now, when's the last time you sat down with one of your employees and you basically gave them a full report Not about all the things they don't do well. I'm talking about a full report where you really have an honest conversation to say, hey, I love you being here. You're a big part of the team. You do X, Y, and Z well, but you know what? Here's what I need you to work on so you can be more impactful. Here's what I need you to work on so you can get better results. Here's what I need you to work on. Write this down. Smart companies are training and development organizations. That's all smart companies are. If you don't have a training and development culture, you're basically a fruit inspector. So you go to the supermarket, you buy some fruit, it looks good, you take it home, you bite the apple and it's mushy. What do? You throw it away. That's exactly what business leaders do. We're fruit inspectors, and when someone doesn't perform in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, we throw them away. How about becoming a coach and basically saying, you know what? I got some raw materials here, but I got to make sure this person reaches their potential. I got to make sure this person gets bigger, stronger, and faster. So when I sat down with my coach, guys, I was basically like, who do I need to become? And he told me. He said, son, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, and you can't rebound. But this off season, I need you to work. This off season, I need you to get bigger, stronger, and faster. I had this conversation with him every single year. And every year, I got about 10 to 20% better. And in 5 years, guys, I was in the NBA starting. True transformation. You don't think I'm loyal to my coach? You don't think I would run through a wall for my coach? You don't think I honor him to this day? You don't think I tell everybody I can find and say, hey, man, you need to go play for this coach. You need to work for this boss, because when I met this boss, I was a drug addict, but he made me a supervisor. When I met him, I didn't have an education, but my boss taught me everything that I know. So as I close, I know my 6 minutes are up. Are you a coach or are you a fruit inspector? Your job is to recruit, develop, and to retain top talent. And if you do a good job in each phase, your employees won't leave you. They'll come to work early and they'll stay late.
You've got 15 seconds left.
Say it again?
Yeah, you're a pro. I mean, the last pro finished right with a second to go. You had 13 seconds up your sleeve, Walter.
Well, I watched John Spence do his deal, so I didn't want to be a slouch tonight. But let's open it up for questions, because I got a lot more that I can share with you guys. And my dream was to come and have an impact in Australia, actually. My wife has always wanted to go to Australia. I love the country. And I haven't been back since 1989. And so when this whole coronavirus is over, I would love to come in and just share my heart and my gifts and just really be an impact player in Australia the same way I've been in America and around the world.
I hear you, Walter. I'm going to help make that happen. But before we do that, I'd like one question from someone other than myself, because I've got a whole list in front of me. But I don't want to use up all of Walter's time. So, Alan, you're on mute. Yeah, I muted you. We could hear your keystrokes. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry. I'm taking notes. So, Walter, I suppose I really assimilate the coach boss thing, because, you know, like obviously I've been in a lot of sport in my life, and I've had a lot of good coaches, and a lot of good coaches do actually, you know, identify your weaknesses and try and help you develop them. But I suppose I've also known a lot of people that are great coaches, but then are maybe different when they're in that business mentality and don't seem to have that correlation between what they do really great there and what they can do great at work. Do you think you know why that is? Is it because they feel that maybe there's a different way they have to act in the business world to what they would in the sporting field world?
Well, I think that I said it earlier, and I want to say it again. I want everybody to hear me clearly. We have completely removed the whole notion of mentorship from leadership. It's almost like mentorship has been erased as a subset of leadership. Our first coaches were our teachers in school. When we went to school, we didn't know how to read, but they taught us how to read. We didn't know how to count, they taught us how to count. We didn't know how to write papers, and our coaches taught us how to write papers. And so in business, when you get a new employee, your mindset has got to be, well, you know what, if you don't know how to sell, I will teach you how to sell. Okay, if you don't know how to build culture, I will teach you how to build culture. If you don't know how to connect with the customer, I will teach you how to connect with the customer. You don't know how to follow up, I will teach you how to follow up. You don't have work ethic, I will teach you and show you work ethic. I mean, when I said it earlier, that's the coach's job. And every day we went to practice and every day we worked. And when I left sports and got into business, I was so disappointed. Not in employees, I was disappointed in the leaders. I was like, you're not coaching your people. And you're spending all this money and losing millions of dollars on turnover, and it's your fault. You're hiring the wrong people, and it's your fault. You're not being productive, it's your fault. In sports, if your team doesn't win, who gets fired? The players or the coach?
Coach. Straight up.
So I bring this whole mindset to my corporate clients, and I take that leader and I say, look, man, stop focusing on your people, and I need you to look in the mirror and focus on you. They're not leaving your building, they're leaving you. And when I can grab that leader, they get it, and I'm able to coach them and teach them. And that's why this book has really done well, Swim, because it's a parable. And if you guys heard of Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for Your Soul, he heard me talk about the shark. That's why I have the shark mindset shirt on. The shark is a fascinating creature. And in the book, we have what we call the sacred six of a shark, which basically your employees need to know the sacred six. You guys know sharks never stop moving or they die. Sharks are in constant motion. So the first thing you got to find is someone with good work ethic. And they need to see you model good work ethic. You guys know the sharks only look up, they never look down, which means sharks are very positive. Are you looking for hardworking, positive people who just have a very positive disposition? Hire for attitude, train for skill. Hire for attitude, train for skill. You guys know sharks are curious and always learning? When's the last book you guys have read? Are you having a book club with your employees? If you have a book club with your employees, they won't leave, and here's why. When your employees believe they can reach their potential with you, they stay. If they don't believe they can reach their potential with you, they leave. It's a simple formula. So if you have high turnover, that employee's basically saying, I can't reach my potential here, so I gotta go somewhere else. So are your employees learning and growing and developing? That's how they become loyal to you. My college basketball coach, I mean, I almost get in tears when I talk about the impact he had for me. My father was my high school principal. I almost get emotional when I talk about what these two men did for me. When's the last time one of your employees talked about you and got choked up? Because you taught them everything they know about business, everything they know about selling, everything they know about closing deals, everything they know about acquisitions. Because you're a business expert and you share everything you know with your team, they're going to be committed. They're going to be loyal. My college basketball coach played in the NBA. He knew how to get there. And he taught me how. So I'm loyal. I'm committed. Is he perfect? No. But I don't even focus on his weaknesses. I focus on his strengths. You help your people develop into sharks. And if they develop the shark mindset, they'll be loyal to you. And they will be committed to you. And that's when you build a fantastic culture. So the sacred six are sharks who never stop moving forward or they die. Sharks are positive. They only look up, they never look down. Sharks are curious and always learning. You must be training and development organizations. You guys heard of McDonald's?
Yes.
They have a hamburger university. That's their key. They're a training and development organization. It happens to sell hamburgers. A couple more keys, and I want to just give you more time because I'm fired up right now, even though it's late. Do you guys know that sharks are made of cartilage? Did you guys know that? No. They're called a shark because they're made of cartilage. They know when to pivot. They know when to change. They know when to shift. Right now, the worst thing you can do with the coronavirus is nothing. You should be anticipating where your industry is going to be when this is over. You should be anticipating where it's going to be. And that's what I'm coaching all my clients with right now. Anticipating where your industry is going to be, and don't meet it there, beat it there. Many business leaders are waiting. Well, I just want to wait until this is over. Do they have a vaccine? Do they have antibodies? Can we use plasma? When is it over? I can't wait until we get back to the good old days. That good old days not coming back. This world's going to be changed forever. So where's your industry headed? That's your job to know and anticipate. That's what you should be doing right now. Sharks are made of cartilage, which means they know when to pivot. And here's my final point. And when people read my book, Swim, guys, I promise you, I've had grown men say, I've never read a business book and actually cried. The best part about a shark, they work in tandem with a suckerfish. A suckerfish is floating in the ocean, waiting for a shark to come by. And when a shark comes by, it's called a suckerfish because this fish has a suction on the top of their head. It's the only resource God gave them. And they use it. And when the shark comes by, they connect to the shark. And the shark takes that suckerfish all over the ocean with them. I was a suckerfish floating in the ocean until my college basketball coach came by. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, your business is full of suckerfish. And you got to be their shark. That's going to lead them to success, lead them to more sales, lead them to promotion, lead them to your potential. You're not in your industry business, you're in the people business. That's what I tell all my business leaders, man, get out the money game and get into the people game. Right now, let me be honest with you. Your employees know, and I'm talking to every business leader around the world, Jamie. Your business people know whether you care about them or not right now. They know. And here's what's going to happen. When the coronavirus is over, it might be another year from now, who knows? If that employee who needs the revenue to pay their bills, and they get the inkling that you don't really care about me, when this thing turns around and the economy improves, they're leaving you. They're either going through the front door or the back door. When they go through the front door, they're going to give you that one finger salute. When they go through the back door, they're going to be very nice and say, oh no, I just got a better opportunity. They're not really going to be honest with you. So they're going to leave, and they're going to be in the front door, or they're going to be in the back door. Let me tell you something. I would play for my college coach all day long.
I want to play for him.
What do you say, Alan?
I want to play for him.
I mean, but that's what I mean when I told Jamie, and I'm on a mission, really, to teach business leaders like all you guys, stop being fruit inspectors and start being a coach. My coach didn't look at me and say, oh, you know, he's okay, he's decent. You know, no, he said, you know what, he got potential. And I'm going to help him get there. So here's what happens with fruit inspectors. They focus on what's wrong with an employee instead of what's right with an employee. Can I ask you a question? When you go home and lay in the bed at night, you think about your teammates. Do you focus on what's right with them? Or do you focus on what's wrong with them? Are you judgmental? Or do you have empathy? I don't know the answer to that. Only you know the answer to that. And probably your significant other does too. But a coach, they're not going to focus on what's wrong with the person. They're going to focus on what's right with the person. And they're going to coach them up in the areas where they're weak. Teach them how to sell. Teach them how to lead. Teach them how to follow up. Whatever your employee's lacking, my coach could teach me how to shoot better. He taught me the importance of being in great shape. He taught me how important it is to use my left hand and my right hand. He taught me the importance of executing the play. He helped me reach my potential.
Well, Walter,
To me, that's a coach.
well, yeah. Would anyone else like to ask a question? Stop hogging all the question time, Alan.
Sorry.
Yeah, clearly, Walter is passionate about this stuff. And Walter, I don't have to read your swim book for you to bring me to tears. You've done that a few times at that conference and also in the coaching sessions that we had after that. So you've made a big difference in my life, and thank you for being part of the session today. And we look forward to you returning one day very soon.
Well, Jamie, thanks for having me. And the bottom line is that the reason why this book is so special for me is because I was a sucker fish.
Yeah.
And I became successful because my shark came by. And I connected to the shark. And they took me places I couldn't take myself. And as I close, I want to encourage every leader on this call tonight. There's a ton of sucker fish floating around Australia, right there in Brisbane. And they're waiting for their shark to come by. And if you're not their shark, they're going to go and find somebody else who will. This book is changing lives, guys. If you get your hands on it, read it. And if you cry, be honest with me, because I've had people say, I read it twice and cried twice.
Well, Walter,
we got to get mentorship back into leadership. I'm out of time. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, Walter. We are gifting your book to the Success Story of the Month, which we are drawing later on. So, yeah, it is. We are spreading that good virus.
Awesome, man.